Good morning, everyone. This is Paul Cones. I'm the president of Courthouse Direct and Integrity Title. Welcome, everybody, this morning, and we're going to be talking primarily about our advanced title plant. A lot of folks that are on the phone with us today may be using what we call our legacy title plant, but we have added a lot of features that we're going to go over today, and that's what we call our advanced plant. And our presenter is Mr. Chris June, who's one of our examiners on our staff here, and he uses this advanced title plan every day. So I would tell you to look on your dashboard and look for the question and answer portion of that. And if you have any questions as we go along, I'll be looking for those questions and then asking Chris to answer those a little bit later. So I want to go ahead and turn this over to Chris. So go ahead, Chris.
Well, good morning, everyone. I want to thank everyone for being in attendance. Yes, what we're going to go over today is it's kind of twofold. We're going to go over the layout of our new advanced plant, and at the same time, we're going to go through kind of what our process would be in terms of how we conduct our searches for title exams. And for those of you who are here for assistance in doing searches, essentially the flow of it is we do the format. The basic format is doing your legal search. Then you do you conduct your general search. You conduct an adverse lien search. Then you conduct a search for restrictions, a search for easements, and then your oil, gas, and minerals, if applicable. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see, the screen. This is our login screen. Go ahead and click to register for your ITR Advanced Training course. So there you can see there's your username and your password. You can see there's the Texas map, the dark blue. That is those are the counties that we are currently registered in. Once you log in, this is what it looks like. And those of you that have used the legacy plant, this looks very familiar to you. As you can see right here, there are some icons where you have there's your historical records. What we're going to do, you can click onto your current coverage right there. We're going to just jump right into the advanced plant. So you just click your icon, your advanced plant icon. And as you can see, it's a little bit different. We're going to go ahead and just jump right into a search in Fort Bend County. We're going to search without a GF number. You can enter a GF number right there, and it will, as you can see, there's a list of all the GF numbers that have been searched in this county internally here at Integrity Title since January 1 of this year. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to search without a GF number right now and just show you kind of the ebb and flow of the search process. So you hit search without GF number. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do a multi-search, which is this right here. It is your default. When you go into a county, that's your default search screen, is your multi-search. So I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and enter, our subdivision name is Sienna Village of Bees Creek, so I'm just going to use the wild card here. I'm going to go ahead and enter my lot number, which is lot 9, block 1. I do have a section number, but I'm just going to leave that blank. And then I'm going to do one of the things that this multi-search does is for the legal criteria, it's going to do a legal search. It's going to search for a plat. It's also going to do an easement search for me. And then the name search, as you can see, it's going to do once I hit this search right here, it's going to do an adverse lien search. It's going to search for deeds, releases. It's going to do a party search, and it's going to do a general search. In addition to that, it's going to do starters, divorce with plaintiff, divorce. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, just for the sake of time, I mean, it'll do probates, block persons, but I'm going to go ahead and do a remove all on that. So once I hit the search screen, the search tab, you can see it's going into, it's working right now. And the results that it's showing right now is the results from the legal search. There's my subdivision, my lot, and my block. If you take your cursor and go down to the very bottom of the screen, you'll see this open existing searches pop up. And what this allows you to do is it gives you all of the searches that have been conducted, and it obviously you can see that the legal search has already been viewed, which is what we're currently looking at. So, for example, let me go ahead and just start building my report. Our section is section 10. So obviously I'm going to start looking for, because there's section 14, so I'm going to look for section 10. There we go. Section 10. So as you can see, you just click on add, and what that does is it adds the documents to your report. One of the things that you're going to see in just a moment that's a little bit different from the legacy plant is when you go to look at your report, it opens it up in a new page. So you can conduct a search on one page for the dual screen users. It allows you the functionality of looking, you can search in one screen and look at your results on the other screen. You click View Report, and as you can see, let me go ahead and shut that and show you. You just click View Report, and you can see it opens it in another screen for you. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to, when you click that little star at the top, what it does is it checks all the boxes for you, and we're going to get selected documents. So there, I mean, there's our current owner. We'd run the name search for him down there in the general search. So we're going to go ahead, as you can, let me go back to my report here. And you can see that there's another party. So typically what you want to do is you want to run a name search for both parties for the current owners. So I'm going to go into my multi-search. I'll go ahead and clear this information. I'm going to go ahead and run. I'm going to go ahead and run a name search on that additional party. So we've conducted our legal search. Now what we're going to do is you can see under the general search, there's the name of one of the borrowers. You can see where it doesn't say viewed next to this. So I haven't looked at this information yet. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this link, and you'll see that it's changed it up. All right, so we can see that there's our general search for that borrower. We're going to go ahead. One of the things that's a little bit different about the new plant versus the legacy plant, as you can see right there under report management, it says new. If I were to hit add right now, what it would do is it would start a new section on my report. And actually, I'm going to demonstrate that for you right now. You hit add. So I'm going to go to my report, which is in the other tab. I'm going to refresh my screen, which you just hit refresh, hit continue, and there you see right there. It just by default, it added a new section to my report. Okay, let me pull this up one more time just to refresh. I'm just reloading the screen. Now what I want to do is I want to add all of these to my legal section. So I'm going to go right here under report management, and I'm going to click on that section right there. going to refresh my screen. It really hasn't added anything new. So now we're going to go do the other party name search. Okay, and as you can see, there's really nothing new, but you always want to go ahead and add those. Okay. Because we see no adverse liens have come up under the adverse lien search. We've looked at the people's names under the general search, and there were no adverse lien documents. We're going to go ahead and do our restrictions search, which is we're just going to click on the restrictions section. And this follows pretty much the same process. You're going to go ahead, we're going to go ahead and add a new section, obviously, since these are restrictions. We know it's section 10. So we're just going to run down here till we find section 10. There we go. We'll just continue to look down the line here. And as you can see, it doesn't appear as though there are any additional restrictions for section 10. So I'm going to tab back over to my report, refresh the screen, and there you go. There's your restrictions. So for the final segment of this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at our easements. So as you can see, there is our subdivision name with all the different sections.
You know, Chris, one thing that I have a question on, and I see someone else had a question on it too, is why are you re-entering the easement search when you're doing it on the advanced title plan? Because you've already, that's the reason that you'll see that like the easement search, for instance, you ran it.
Yeah, I've run it twice.
Right, and there wasn't really a reason to run it a second time, was there? I mean, that was the reason for the advanced plant, is because it's already ran the easement search.
And one of the reasons that I did that is I wanted to demonstrate to you that, as you can see, where it says Fort Bend easement and where it says Fort Bend plat, where it says Fort Bend at the very beginning, you'll see that those were the results that was the search that was run using the multi-search. Now, as you can see underneath here, where it just says restrictions, plats, easements, and just general, that tells the user that a manual search was made. Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, I think, you know, the main thing for the user is to understand the reason that the advanced search exists is so that you don't have to actually run a separate manual search. But I think to be able to show, like you're doing there, that when you ran that general search, it came back with separate records, just like it would as if you use the advanced search, then you know, that's something to, you know, if that's what you're trying to demonstrate. But go ahead.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what I'm saying. It does give you, when you look at this, it gives you a difference. You can see, hey, I did somebody did a multi-search, and so the results do show up a little bit differently on your search criteria that you've already searched down here. So we have, and basically what I did was I went through, you know, this was a pretty simple search, as you can see, and there's your legal search. There were no adverse liens, although I did go ahead and demonstrate that, you know, if you're doing a name search and there are adverse liens, you just make sure that you create a new section. I created a new section for the restrictions and the easements. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, since I didn't save this, but I'm sure everybody can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to I conducted this search earlier, and what I'm going to show you is that it saved the search for me. One of the differences between the legacy plant and the advanced plant is that the advanced plant saves your search. So what I'm going to do, I'm sorry, I went to new report. You click new report again. So I'm going to enter the GF number. I'm going to hit submit. As you can see, it says load an existing report. So you can see just a little bit before 8 o'clock this morning this search was conducted. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm just going to go ahead and close out that form. Now I'm going to hit view report. I'm sure to many of you this looks very familiar, other than I didn't add the new section. But this was the search that I conducted earlier this morning. It saved everything, and not only did it save all of my work, I can go into update and monitor. I click on that button, and as you can see right there, there's the search criteria that I used this morning. There's my easement search. There's the search criteria I used for my restrictions. There's the search criteria I used for my legal. There's my general, adverse liens, and so on and so forth. Kind of what this does, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You know, you can say, yeah, I searched that, or if your boss says, well, did you even search that? I mean, this kind of there's a transparency between labor and management here, but this will also help you later on when you go to update. When you go to update, and I can
show how to monitor those. Show how to monitor those searches, if you will.
Perfect. Okay, so obviously this name, what I can do is I know that this is a refinance transaction, so basically what I'll do, I mean, the thing's going to pay me once it closes. How I find out it closes, I'm going to go ahead and monitor this result. So I'll click on the box, and you can add in increments of 30, 60, or 90 days. So if I want to do a 90-day search, I just click on 90, and it's going to, anything that is filed in Fort Bend County using that criteria right there, it's going to send me an email saying, hey, something got filed under this, you know, using this criteria. You can also add, more than 90 days if you want to. You can add an additional 30 days. You can add an additional 60 days, an additional 90 days, or if you've decided, wait, that's too long, you can just uncheck the box, recheck it, and as you can see, it starts all over again. I've used this to pretty good effect. I'll show you real quick an email that I was sent on so there's my GF number that I set it for. So what I'm going to do is, you can see there's the GF number 14034682. That was my GF number. This is the email that you get sent. I set the criteria for David Nichols, and you see where it says view, that's the hyperlink. So I'm going to click on that hyperlink, and what it'll do, and so it'll send you an email notification. You'll click on the link, and it will take you, it'll pull the information up. Okay. There was.
I just want to point out, Chris, that for the users out there, that where this is really helpful is when you did a search, let's say 2 weeks ago, and there's a new IRS lien that's been filed, and you're made aware of that because you just got an email, and you can essentially contact your escrow officer and say, have we closed that file yet? Because if we haven't, we need to look at this. So this is what we call a push technology, where we're pushing the information to the examiner. It's like an automated update, if you will. So,
and I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate real quick the update function. And what I'm going to do is close out the form. You go up there to New Report. I'm going to click on the New Report. I will click on the New Report icon again. So what I'll do is I will show you real quickly our update function. I don't need that. Okay, you see where it says update selected. We're going to go ahead and we want to update all. So you can see it's working right there. It's updating my information. There's my principal borrower right there. Click on 6 new records.
So those are the new results that have been filed since the last search was done. Is that correct?
Correct. And the first search, as you can see right there, the first search was done April 21st of 2014. And so I went ahead and I clicked on my legal result, and you can see right there on June 25th of 2014, the deed of trust was filed. It was a refinance transaction, so there it is. And so this is, go ahead.
I think some folks just got a message. Some people are stuck on the email screen, and my screen is a little bit smaller than what it was when you were doing the presentation earlier.
Okay.
So somewhere your screen kind of is still not quite right here. So that's better. That's it. I think that's
perfect. It. Okay. And this was actually the GF number that my lien alert was sent. That email that I was showing you that had, there's the GF number, and that was the person's name, David Nichols right there. So actually I did receive an alert for this, but you can see the update function. I just demonstrated the update function for you. So whatever it is that you're searching, it's going to bring all of your, and all of these new records are from the original search date. So, and it's been a very, very useful tool for us over here. I can say that personally. So I was able to export all of this search information to a Word document. So it allows you to save it. So if you're doing an update for a customer and they want to see the results of the update search, that's a pretty nice feature. Okay, and that's just the export function right there. And what it'll do is it will, all of this information, all this search information you see right here is converted into Word format for you. Okay.
That's helpful to document your file that you actually did perform an update.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because I mean, it does. Whoever's asking you for this stuff, I mean, it gives total transparency there, which is always good. Okay. Let's see here. We'll try.
Now, when you click that new report button, which go ahead and click on it, I just want to point out something that it kind of stops you right here, because if you are not monitoring your searches yet, it's kind of saying, do you want to stop right now before you do a new search and go ahead and monitor? So this is kind of your reminder. And if, let's say, for instance, you said, no, I've already monitored it, then, of course, you would just hit the new report button and move on to the next report that you want to do. But we wanted to make it so we at least reminded you that before you left the report you're working on, that you had a chance to monitor that. So go ahead.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to jump into one real quick, and this is, I'm going to go into Dallas County, and this is one, I want to go ahead and search without a GF number, and we'll go ahead and do, as you can see, this one's a little bit different. This is Dallas County. Okay, so with Dallas County, we're going to enter the map book and the map page. We're going to enter the lot and block. I'm going to enter the party names. I'll run through this one pretty quick, and what this is going to do, oh darn it, I shouldn't have done that. Okay, so you can see right there we've got 27 records on our legal search. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with the last known owner. And we're going to stop there. I'm not going to add this deed of trust because just for the sake of this exercise, but you can see this is the last vested owner. I'm going to go ahead and hit my view report. I'm going to get my documents.
Can you explain what you did with you switched the order?
What's that? Oh, yes. You always want to, you hit file date, and what it will do is it will line everything up chronologically. And then from there, what you do is you hit your instrument number. And as you can see, before I did it, the 88 was up here and the 87 was down here. And when you hit instrument number, it puts everything in instrument number order as well. So I started with file date, synchronized that, and then I did it according to instrument number order.
And why is that helpful?
Yeah, typically you want everything to be in chronological order and in instrument number order. I mean, it just keeps things in order. We like to keep things in order around here. Keep things orderly. Okay. So you might be asking yourself, because there's Deutsche Bank right there. They filed the appointment of substitute trustee, but we don't necessarily. Yeah, there's the assignment. One of the things when you're looking for either assignments or releases or whatnot, typically what you want to do is you'll run, and you'll see this reference document right here. We're going to go ahead and just run a search on this deed of trust. We're going to go into our general search, and lo and behold, look at that. You've got 5 documents there that are associated just with that deed of trust. So a lot of times it'll help you, because in some instances there are no legal descriptions when these documents are filed, like these assignments of lien, these appointments of substitute trustee. There are times when the folks that are preparing these documents do not put legal descriptions on them. That having been said, I mean, when you have this reference document, it does help you pick up a lot of extra things that you might otherwise not find. And when I say you might not otherwise find them, it's because the documents themselves do not have legal descriptions on them. The only thing that references, that ties any of these documents to this document is the recording number. So, I mean, it's just a helpful tip for,
Chris, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
And click on the name Leslie Riddle there under the grantor, that first record. No, I'm talking about in the actual record at the top.
Oh, yes.
Click on that. There is a little, now I'm not seeing it populating there like it would normally, but if you click, you know what I'm referring to, though.
Yes, sir. And then you can just hit, whoops. Okay, come on. All right, hang on. Let me just.
I didn't mean to throw you off there, but.
No, that's okay. Look.
Typically what it does is when you click on a name, then it allows you to go ahead and just populate the general search with that, which is kind of handy, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So usually what I'll tell you is one of the tips that I was trying to, one of the things I was trying to tip you off about, I mean, especially some of the newer users, as you can see, I've gone to my legal search, and as you can see, the very first search criteria is map, book, and page. Typically, when there are some counties, when you pull up your legal search, the main way that the information is indexed is, because a lot of times you'll see the subdivision will be at the very top, but in this particular case, it's map, book, and page. And so just, you know, look for little tips like that. If it's at the top of the page on your legal search, your best bet is to put in your map, book, and page and your lot and block. You'll get quite a few results. You'll get some pretty good search results that way. And I mean, the rest of this we've covered as far as, you know, the multi-search functionality and pulling up different records. See, I mean, that just pulled up all of my, that's all of my search results for that particular borrower. Let's see here. I mean, I think we've covered, you know, the main. Is there any questions? Are there any questions? I'm sorry.
I'm monitoring the questions. I would ask anyone that has any questions to go ahead and submit those now. But in the meantime, let's just go back to where you log into the advanced plant and pick a county, if you will. Or just go like a new search, if you will.
Oh, okay.
Just to kind of review kind of where we're at. So,
okay, so we're back.
Let's look at the right below here. These are the kind of new features, if you will, on the advanced plan, and that's that you can save the searches. That's pretty powerful. Also, you can just put in all the information, the legal description, and then the names of the parties, and then hit one time, and it'll do all of those multiple searches. You can also monitor those searches going forward, which is helpful because, again, it's pushing that information out to you as a searcher. Something else, you know, on the legacy plan is each time you build another section of the report, you do have to name that report too. So this actually does some auto naming, which is helpful. Also, whenever you're building the report, it actually opens that into a new window. And because the way it's built, we think that the results, you know, do come back faster. We did have one of our staff members that's asking a question about, and this is more probably for their supervisor, but they're asking, should they monitor all the searches that they do? And I would tell them to, yes, go ahead and monitor, particularly any adverse lien filings and the name searches, because if you may go back and update that search later on, but if you know, if when the documents are filed in the courthouse and you get an email and say, okay, that name that I was searching 3 weeks ago, obviously there's been a mortgage that's been filed now and a deed that's been filed, and it kind of, in some ways, gives you a little bit of a sense of accomplishment that, yeah, that work that I did actually was used instead of, instead of just done for practice, So, so again, we still have a lot of people on the line. Again, if you have, if you have a question, let's go ahead and ask it now. Is there anything else that you think you want to cover also?
No, I think that I demonstrated the auto naming. I demonstrated the monitor search. We demonstrated the multi-search. We demonstrated the saved search. We demonstrated the viewing, the report opening up in the new window and the results. I mean, we covered all the new features.
Yeah.
One of the things that was brought up is, you can, as far as GF numbers, you can do any month, any year, and what it will do is, as you can see, there's as far as, my username, this is everything that's been done in Dallas County under my username, and that's any month, any year. And you can narrow it down to a specific month. Let's see, and so that's typically what it'll do is it'll give you the, let's see here. And that's, in a nutshell, that's what it does, is it gives you actually it's not, it's company-wide, all of the GF numbers that have been searched. So that's a correction. It's not under my username. It's company-wide.
That's very helpful too, because you may have some people within your organization that actually perform the updates, and then you have other people that are actually doing the searching. A couple of other questions that are coming up here. One is, can you run a search on a, can you run a search or monitor a search if you don't put in a GF number? And I believe the answer to that would be you need to put in a job number or a GF number to be able to monitor that search. And after thinking about it, maybe you don't have to put in a GF number, but it's probably easier to track once you get the email sent to you as to what it applies to.
Correct. Yeah, it helps you. It certainly helps you trace it back to where it is you were.
Another very good question here has to do with common names that the advanced search is helpful on. In that, if you're running a common name in the legacy plant, it would time out, or it would hit the maximum number, and you'd have to narrow your date range. And on this advanced title plant, you can put in a Juan Gonzalez in El Paso, Texas, and it'll run all of those names, even if it's 3,000 names. So that is another feature of the advanced title plant that is helpful.
All right, and yeah, sometimes when you're running, the more common the name, the more hits you're going to get on your monitored search.
Yeah, I see another question, whether or not a GF number is generated or it's created. So I think this person actually is, I saw by another question that they may be familiar with, not as familiar with Texas, but in Texas, a GF number is required on any title insurance file, and typically within your software that you use to create your title policies or your title commitments, the title commitment software will generate the GF number, and that's the number that you're going to consider a GF number being a job number or a project number.
Yeah, the GF number can, yeah, you just have to type it in yourself. It's not auto-generated.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you can type whatever you want to in there. You can type an address, you can type a name. I mean, so I mean, it can be anything, but yeah, you definitely want to put something in there if you want your search to be monitored.
Another question had to do with Township Range, and since we're in Texas, we don't use Township Range here. We use Survey and Abstract. So although if you go out to West Texas, they use something kind of similar where they're using block and section number, but in Texas we don't really use Township Range, so that's not something that would necessarily be searchable, you know, on this particular title plan. I'm not really seeing any other questions here. Again, if you have any more, go ahead and submit those, but and we would be happy to respond to those offline. But Chris, I really appreciate you putting this together and showing the folks our new advanced title plan. We've been using it internally, I guess, for probably about close to 10 months or so, and I think it's like anything. Once you start using it, then you kind of get you use it all the time. You know, there are some questions about, are we going to get rid of the legacy title plant? And right now we don't really have an intention to remove the legacy plant, and so you'll be able to get back to it. So for instance, there's a return. Click on that return button right there, if you will, if you're still up there. So if you clicked on the return button, that would bring you back to the legacy plant. So essentially the advanced plant would bring you over to the advanced. So we might end up, as a default, going to the advanced plant, but you can always, at least now, you know, our intention is to continue to monitor or keep the legacy plant up and running for the people that are more comfortable in that area. So, all right. Well, we certainly appreciate everybody being here and hope you go out and have a great day today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Bye-bye.
Thank you.